What a magnificent sound that is. The sound of tradition and order and stability. Sit down, Miss Baxter.
Mr. Lucas.
Sit down. Splendid. Now, does your mistress know you're here?
No, sir.
Nor her distinguished husband?
No. I shouldn't be doing things behind their backs like this.
Quite right. But you are. You answered my invitation.
I didn't have much choice, did I? How did you find out? Are you really going to tell them?
Oh, no, Miss Baxter. Annie, you mustn't worry. Your employer certainly won't learn your unsavoury little secret from me. Assuming, of course, that we can come to a suitable understanding, you and I.
I haven't got any money.
Please don't insult my intelligence.
Well, then what? You want me to do something? Against the master and mistress? No!
Oh, so you do have some brains. Splendid. That will make things so much easier.
The Second Stain by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Dramatised for radio by Bert Coules, with Clive Merrison as Sherlock Holmes and Michael Williams as Dr. John Watson, and featuring Jeremy Clyde as the Foreign Secretary, Sabina Franklin as Lady Hilda Trelawney Hope, and David March as the Prime Minister. The Second Stain.
More coffee?
Oh, thank you.
Client? This time of the morning?
Crime doesn't operate to a timetable, Watson. I think how boring it would be if it did.
Yes, I suppose so. Be beautifully tidy, though, wouldn't it? Who do you suppose it is?
Now, Watson, really, why speculate? In 30 seconds we'll know. Let's have a look. Probably some routine little problem. Plain enough carriage. No illustrious clients to excite your readers this time, I'm afraid.
Come in.
Mrs. Hudson, who do you have for us this fine morning?
The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary, gentlemen.
And now I've told you there's nothing to see. Move along there. Clear the pavement. Clear away there.
Thank you, Baines. Morning, Constable.
Inspector Lestrade.
So, what have you got for me?
Well, when I discovered that the document had been stolen, Mr. Holmes...
Which was when exactly?
At 8 o'clock this morning. I had once informed the Prime Minister. It was at his suggestion that we've come to you.
Have you told the police?
No, sir. To inform the police must, in the long run, be to inform the public.
Which is what we particularly want to avoid.
Why is that, Foreign Secretary?
Because the item in question is of immense importance. Its theft might very easily lead to a political crisis affecting the whole of Europe.
Good God.
Well, yes, sir.
Come on, then. Let's have it.
Well, not much to tell you yet, Inspector. He was quite a distinguished gent, seemingly. Wealthy, of course. Something of a musician. Mid-30s, lived alone.
All right, Barrett. Get to the interesting bit. Who stuck the dagger in his chest?
Unless the document can be recovered with the utmost secrecy, then it may as well not be recovered at all.
Because even the simple knowledge of its existence could be damaging.
Catastrophic.
I understand. Now, Mr. Trelawney Hope, tell me exactly the circumstances under which this document disappeared.
Well, that can be done in a very few words, Mr. Holmes. The letter...
It's a letter.
It is, sir. A letter of such importance that I never left it in my office safe overnight, but took it across each evening to my house. Whitehall Terrace, Doctor, number 9.
Whitehall Terrace, thank you.
You kept it where, exactly?
In my personal dispatch box. Locked, and the only key is here, on my watch chain.
And in which room was the box left?
Our bedroom. The letter was there last night. I'm certain of that.
You actually saw it?
I did, Doctor. I opened the box while I was dressing for dinner. It was there. And this morning, it was gone.
What time did you dine?
7:30.
How long was it before you went to bed?
My wife had gone to the theatre. I waited up for her. It was 11:30 before we went to our room.
Then for 4 hours, the dispatch box was unguarded.
Well, no one is permitted to enter that room save the housemaid in the morning and my valet and my wife's maid during the rest of the day. They are all trusted servants.
No doubt.
And besides, none of them could possibly have known there was anything more valuable than usual in the box.
Who did know of the letter?
No one in the house.
Surely your wife knew.
No, sir. Until this morning, I haven't breathed one word to my wife about this matter.
Could she have guessed?
No, Mr. Holmes, she could not have guessed. And to answer your question, besides the members of the Cabinet, there are 2, possibly 3 departmental officials who know of the letter. No one else in England.
But abroad?
We believe that no one has seen it save the man who wrote it.
Well, well. I must ask you more particularly what this singular document is.
The envelope is a long, thin one of pale blue colour. There is a seal of red wax stamped with a crouching lion. It is addressed...
Prime Minister, interesting as these details are, my inquiries must go more to the root of things. What was the letter?
That is a state secret of the utmost importance. I cannot tell you, nor do I see that it is necessary.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, I can't help you.
Mr. Holmes?
And any continuation of this interview would be a waste of time. Good morning.
I'm sorry, Inspector.
That's all right, Mrs. Pringle, I understand. How long have you been housekeeper here?
9 years, sir. He was such a good man. Who would want to do such a terrible thing?
That's what I want to find out. Now, what time did you go to bed last night?
At 9:30, sir.
Were there any callers after that?
Well, I didn't hear anyone, sir. No one at all.
Mr. Holmes, I am not accustomed to being treated in this manner. We must accept your terms. You are right. It is unreasonable to expect you to act unless we give you our entire confidence.
I agree with you, sir.
I rely on your honour and that of your colleague.
You may safely trust us, Prime Minister.
I appeal to your patriotism, too. I could not imagine a greater misfortune for the country than that this affair should come out. The letter is from a certain foreign potentate who has been ruffled by some of our recent colonial developments. It was written hurriedly and on his own responsibility. It is so provocative that its publication would lead to such a ferment. Gentlemen, within a week this country would be at war.
I've been his valet for 3 years. This is a hell of a thing.
Get on well, did you?
What are you saying?
Nothing. Answer the question.
Yeah, we got on very well. He trusted me. He used to leave me in charge of the house when he went abroad.
Did that happen often?
He used to go to France a fair bit. Paris, you know.
And you had the run of this place while he was gone. Where were you last night?
Hammersmith, visiting some people.
What time did you leave?
About 10:30.
And you didn't get here until gone midnight.
It was a fine evening. I walked.
When you saw that the police were here, you hesitated at the end of the street. Why?
Of course I hesitated. It's only natural, isn't it?
Is it now?
So, this letter may well mean the expenditure of £1,000 million and the lives of hundreds of thousands of men.
And I have lost it.
No one can blame you, my dear fellow.
Prime Minister, if this letter were to be published, who would gain?
Mr. Holmes, the whole of Europe is an armed camp. There is a double league which makes a fair balance of military power. Great Britain holds the scales. If we were driven into war against one confederacy, it would assure the supremacy of the other.
Whether they joined in the war or no.
Then it's in the interests of the enemies of this potentate. They want to publish the letter to make a breach between his country and ours.
Exactly so, Doctor.
Well, if it did fall into the hands of an enemy, where would this document be sent?
To any of the great chancelleries of Europe.
It's probably speeding there now, as fast as steam can take it.
Now, Mr. Holmes, you are in full possession of the facts. What course do you recommend?
This letter was taken yesterday evening between 7:30 and 11:30, probably nearer the former.
How can you say that?
Well, the thief obviously knew it was there and would naturally want to secure it as soon as possible. And after the theft, well, no one has any reason to retain it. As you say, Foreign Secretary, it's surely been passed rapidly from hand to hand onto those who can make use of it. What chance have we now to overtake it or even to trace it?
Your reasoning is perfectly logical, Mr. Holmes, but there must be something we can do.
You think that unless this document is recovered, there will be war?
I think it is very probable.
Then, sir, prepare for war. All right, now, everyone together. Lift. Right, stay there. That's it. Good.
That blood's made a pretty mess of the carpet. Get yourself home, Barrett.
Oh, you sure, sir?
Yes, go on. I'll hold the fort here till the next shift comes on. I want to have a look round anyway.
Thank you, sir. Why do you think he was killed, Inspector?
Well, not for money. Some of these weapons are worth a mint.
Funny sort of hobby, collecting knives.
The ways of the idle rich, we'll never fathom them, Barrett. They're a different race.
I don't think they expected you to be quite that pessimistic. The second editions.
Situation is desperate.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, but not hopeless.
No?
No. I may have been over hasty. Now think about the chain. Yes, the thief. Now let's presume for the moment that the thief is one of the Foreign Secretary's household.
All trusted servants.
The thief, the butler, say, has the letter. Where would he take it?
Any one of the great chancelleries of Europe.
Well, yes, but our butler could hardly deliver it himself.
What then?
Well, he'd go, or he'd be instructed to go, to an agent.
What sort of agent?
An international agent, the sort that specialises in precisely this type of affair.
A spy?
Exactly. Now, if someone like that has it, well, it's just possible that he hasn't passed it on yet.
Even so, what could you do? If we're not allowed to involve the police.
International agents. Yes, it's all a question of money with those men. Yes, and I have the British Treasury behind me.
You'll buy it?
Even if it means another penny on the income tax.
Small enough price to avoid a war.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, there are only 3 agents in London capable of playing so bold a game. I'll go round and check on each of them. Oberstein, La Rothiere, and Eduardo Lucas.
Is that Eduardo Lucas of Godolphin Street, Westminster?
Yes.
You won't see him.
Why not?
He was murdered last night. Stabbed through the heart with an Indian dagger.
Annie? Annie, are you all right?
Yes, Mr. Fenton.
For goodness sake, her ladyship will be back any minute. What in the world is the matter with you?